The thin blue line flag, which law enforcement organizations use, has been co-opted by white supremacists. American citizens exercising their free speech have been at odds about many subjects for many years. In a democracy that is right and healthy, the United States has a history of radically polarized opinions that have led to violence, and even to the extreme of a civil war. Our history of race relations is one of the most bitterly contested aspects of our democracy. Even so, we tend to find our better angels and resolve our differences peacefully, until now. Now our differences have been manipulated by foreign agents and hate groups to perpetuate chaos and anger. In 2013, 3 black organizers, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tamida, created a black-centered political will and movement-building project called Black Lives Matter. It was in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman. The project is now a member-led global network of more than 40 chapters. Their members organize and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on black communities. The Black Lives Matter movement has intentionally included women, queer, and transgender people, and others either out of the ongoing civil rights movement or in the background, to move the work forward with little or no recognition. As a network, they have recognized the need to center the leadership of women and queer and trans people. They have made a commitment to placing those at the margins closer to the center. The Black Lives Matter organization represents democracy in action. The organization has made it clear the group is not anti-police. Their website explicitly addresses this assertion, saying, "This movement is not an anti-people movement. Therefore, it is not an anti-police officer movement. Most police officers are just everyday people who want to do their jobs, make a living for their families, and come home safely at the end of their shift." The overall Black Lives Matter movement is a decentralized network and has no formal hierarchy. Some more established black civil rights leaders have disagreed with tactics used by Black Lives Matter activists. Besides local organizing and intersectional solidarity, the global racial justice movement Black Lives Matter has also triggered another effort, one claiming that it is police who are being unfairly targeted in our society. The Blue Lives Matter movement was formed after the December 20th, 2014 slaying of 2 New York City police officers, Rafael Romas and Wenjian Liu, by 4 officers and their families who are unrelated to Ramos and Liu. The movement soon adopted the thin blue line flag. The murderers were the catalyst for what quickly became a rebuttal to Black Lives Matter. Its insistence that we pay more attention to killer cops than to cops killed in the line of duty. Originally depicted as a navy blue bar positioned horizontally at the center of a black background, symbolizing police as the barrier between civility and chaos, the thin blue line has been a silent display of solidarity among police officers across the nation since the 1960s. The thin blue line lives flag first appeared in November 2016 in Chicago, and since has become inextricably linked to the Blue Lives Matter movement. That flag is prominently displayed on the group's website, Facebook page, and all its other media outlets. This is an image of the Blue Lives Matter Facebook website. The group, quote, denies any wrongdoing by police. They paint the Black Lives Matter protesters as criminals and murderers, and create the false sense that because folks across the country are doing the important work of criticizing police policies and practices that lead to extrajudicial killings and impunity, police officers are under attack, end quote. Well, here's the problem with the use of the thin blue line flag by law enforcement. Unlike the Black Lives Matter movement, the Blue Lives Matter movement has appropriated the symbology of the American flag. As can be seen here, it then further associates that flag with racial stereotypes. The unsubtle message here is unmistakable. Here are other examples of images used on both the Blue Lives Matter website and their Facebook page. Some may see a strong element of racism, while others may not perceive that. In any case, the images exhibit a strong bias against people of color. At the very least, they are highly partisan and political. The thin blue line flag is quite prominent. The most viewed Facebook message, secretly created by a St. Petersburg-based Russian troll farm in October 2016, was one that allegedly backed American cops. Back the Badge appeared to be an authentically American community on Facebook rallying support for police officers. In fact, it was Russian, a creation of the Internet Research Agency, an online propaganda mill that Special Counsel Robert Mueller indicted in February 2018 on conspiracy charges. During the same month that the pro-police ad appeared on Facebook, the Internet Research Agency also promoted ads with the diametrically opposed message to support the Black Lives Matter movement, with sites such as Blacktivists, Black Matters Us, or US, and Woke Blacks. The only thing the two competing messages had in common was that they appeared organically American, all while obscuring their Russian origins. The ads provide a deeper understanding of Russia's use of social media to spread propaganda on divisive subjects, which include pushing anti-immigration messages to fans of specific Fox News personalities such as Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly, and burying batches of ads immediately after a mass shooting at a historically black church in Charleston, South Carolina. Here can be seen the most successful IRA ads by number of clicks. Note, Back to the Badge and Being Patriotic lead. Brown Power and Blacktivist follow. Never missing a hatred theme, The South United is also a winner. IRA ads by number by impressions. Note the Back the Badge. It leads followed by Brown Power. Blacktivist impressions drop off, interestingly enough, because leaders in the African American community began to recognize the influence of others in the Black Lives Matter movement. In fact, the fake Facebook sites gathered far more interest than their own. IRA ads by spending. We Americans are a cheap date. Russians spent less than $100,000 on their Facebook and Twitter campaigns. One day after Dylan Roof killed 9 black churchgoers in Charleston, a Russian propaganda account, Black Matters, gave Facebook 1,295 rubles, about $20, for one ad, seeking to capitalize on the tragedy by getting more users to follow the account. The educational nonprofit media organization Unicorn Riot obtained access to tens of thousands of messages passed among hundreds of white supremacists on chat servers used to plan the August 12, 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. One user, called Stannis the Menace, said the Virginia State Police will be focused on Antifa or anti-fascists, not us, especially if we kiss some ass with a few Blue Lives Matter chants. Be nice to cops, and they will be nice to you. Chat logs from the Charlottesville organizers reveal that white supremacists know that swastikas undermine the breadth of their appeal. The thin blue line flag runs less risk of alienating potential supporters. The American flag, filtered through a lens darkly, might send just the right message. For those who display the flag as an angry assertion in the shape of a skull or emblazoned across the barrel of a handgun, the colors evoke a mixture of menace and patriotism, the peril of a nation under siege by disloyal liberals. During the Charlottesville 2017 protests, the proud symbol of police, the thin blue line flag, appeared during the violent protests. Amidst the sea of flags representing various hate groups such as Identity Europa, Sonnenrad, the National Socialist Movement, the Confederate flag, and many others, as can be seen in the pictures here, the thin blue line flag also made frequent appearances. James Alex Fields Jr., a 20-year-old white supremacist who participated in the Emancipation Park rally on August 12, 2017, drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, hitting several, and slamming into a stopped sedan, which hit a stopped minivan that was in front of it. The impact of the crash pushed the sedan and the minivan further into the crowd. Fields then reversed the car through the crowd and fled the scene. One person was killed and 19 others were injured. Citing an FBI source, Virginia Representative Tom Garrett has stated that, quote, racial divisions fomented by Russian agents contributed to violence at the rally, end quote. After the August 2017 Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia, the thin blue line flag began to regularly appear alongside other far-right and racist standards, the yellow snake of Don't Tread on Me, the stars and bars of the Confederacy. The white supremacist connection is now complete, as can be seen here. It is now possible to purchase a thin blue on Confederate flag that combines the ultimate old American symbol of racism with the police flag in an unambiguous manner. Because many law enforcement agencies have incorporated the thin blue line flag into their branding, it is now incumbent upon them to decide which symbols represent their values and mission in their communities. Concerned citizens understand the reasons why law enforcement organizations wish to honor fallen members and applaud them for this. However, in light of the fact that this flag is so incontrovertibly associated with white supremacists and Russian incitement of racial divides, they cannot justify the use of the flag under any circumstances. The thin blue line flag must be removed. Faith-rooted organizations should be at the forefront of efforts to remove the thin blue line flag from all law enforcement agencies. Faith-rooted organizations can bridge the gap between police and the communities they serve because of their involvement and respect in all communities. If you represent or are involved with a faith-rooted organization, we urge you to investigate the ways the thin blue line flag might be used by law enforcement in your area, and become involved in the effort to eradicate this terribly divisive symbol.